Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Clue Crew podcast. My name is Katie. I'm here once again with Maddie,
Hey.
Allison,
Hey.
and that's actually it. I unintentionally made that sound like we had an extra person here today, but we do not. It's just the three of us. But anyway, so last week's game was Secrets Can Kill, so we're going to be talking about both versions. Since between the three of us, we played both versions. So me and Allison did Remastered because we're too lazy to deal with the disc switching of the original.
Indeed.
However, Maddie went for it.
I did. Yeah, it was because I was too lazy to install the remastered version because the original was already on my computer.
And that is perfectly valid. Installation sucks. Anyway, so this is an incredibly short game, you guys. I finished this one in about 2 hours accumulatively because I originally played for like 15 minutes and then I was just not in it, so I quit. And then I picked it back up and I finished it in one go, and it only took me like a little over an hour and a half.
Yeah, I think I chopped it into 2 days, which normally it takes me because I'll just kind of I'll like play and then I'll get off and I'll play and I'll get off. So normally it'll take me the whole week, and this just took me 2 afternoons.
Yeah, I started last night because I realized that I was behind on playing it. And I played it for an hour yesterday at like midnight. And then today when I got off work, I was like, okay, and I finished it, I think, in like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I think half of like that time was just spent because I realized I had not clicked on one book in the library to trigger the message sent. So I could have done it faster if I had found the stupid jujitsu book on my first go through.
Honestly, the thing that's the most annoying about this game for both versions, I feel like, is triggering objects to move forward. Like, before even starting the game, I was having PTSD flashbacks of how hard it was to get things to progress because of triggering the next step. So
Right.
I was like, oh God, this again.
I know.
I'm surprised they didn't fix that at all.
Yeah. I am too. I feel like there's ways they probably could have done it because, and this is something that's probably prevalent in the first couple of games, but especially in Secrets Can Kill because it was their first one, where, it's like the triggers are so obscure. And sometimes it can be hard to really know what you're missing.
I will say, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I will say that between this one for me, Secrets Can Kill, and Stay Tuned for Danger seems worse because I feel like there are more specific things that you have to trigger, like sequentially after each other, because there's the bomb, there's the phone call, and there's the package being sent to you. Whereas in this one, thankfully, there's only that one letter. And actually, a lot of the pieces, you don't have to click on it. There's just a select few that you do. So I don't think it's as intensive. Like, this one doesn't drive me as crazy as much as Stay Tuned for Danger does.
That's true.
I agree. Especially with that package. I always miss it since it's so bottom of the screen. It's so annoying.
Yep. What is it? I think the package is triggered by doing everything in Dwayne's office, and the phone call is triggered by doing everything in Lillian's office. I think that's what I decided on my last playthrough.
I don't know.
Because I usually had issues with the package, but in my last playthrough, I got the package just fine, but the only thing I was missing was something in Lillian's office, and that's why I couldn't get the phone call.
I just kept going in and out of those offices so many times.
Just to make sure, right?
I just kept going back to the house too, and it wasn't working, and I just felt defeated by the end of that game.
Yeah, I know. You're like always going back to the apartment and you're holding your breath, just hoping when you walk in. And then you're like,
like, please let me get a death threat. Please let me get a death threat.
I know, right? Well, that's a pretty solid connection between the first two games as well. You have the blonde creep who's like hitting on you the whole time.
That's true.
Really though, like Daryl is freaking persistent. Calm down, dude.
I know. He's obnoxious. Like, bro. Also hilarious because in the book version of this, she like goes all in and she's like so into it. I'm pretty sure they make out in the book.
I think somebody's told me that before, actually.
Yeah.
I'm in shock.
Maddie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, in Nancy Drew Files, she goes all in. She's like,
she's a wild
no
child.
hold back. She's wild. She's wildin'.
Yeah, man. Nancy in the Files just holds nothing back. Well, those books were throughout like what, the 80s, I think?
80s and 90s, yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of makes sense. That was very much a time of rebellion and drama and romance and going wild.
Mm-hmm.
So weird. Funny though. So as far as the characters in Secrets Can Kill, what do we think of them individually? We'll start with Connie, since that's who I was. Okay, sorry.
No, you're gonna have to say she's the only redeeming one out of all of them.
She is, right? And even,
why is she even? Sorry, go ahead.
No, you were already like halfway through your sentence. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, why is she even considered on the same plane as the other three?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, I was gonna say the original Connie is way cooler than remastered Connie.
Yeah, I was watching clips of it, and I was like, "You're a hall monitor? This is so lame in comparison."
Maddie's a school bully. Yeah, hall monitor. What a dork. I'm just kidding, but yeah, no, it's like she has that soft-spoken, girly voice, and she acts all like I don't know, something about her isn't as cool. You know what? I love a good girly girl. I'm obsessed with Bess, but Connie is like, I just feel like she's supposed to be a badass, and I just didn't feel it in the remastered version.
Yeah, it was funny because when I was playing it, I did the same thing where I was like, I don't remember her being like this. Like, I fully remembered original Secrets Can Kill Connie, and I was like, it's weird. She's a very different character.
Yeah, for sure.
She's very sharp, I feel like, in the original one. Like, everything she says is very, like, straight to the point, like, boom, 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 and doesn't want to put up with any of Nancy's nonsense.
Right.
And also her voice inflections are hilariously perfect.
I still love her line about Hulk, though, when she's like, what a dork. He needs to get a life and stop talking about mine.
Yeah.
It's like, what a great thing to say. Well, that's another example of the original character being much better than the remastered one. Hulk in the remastered version, I literally, like, I can't deal with it. It's like,
oh my God.
His voice is all weird. He sounds like a game show host instead of a jock.
Yeah.
Like, everyone talks about Daryl's, like, dramatic, just, like, character model disaster, but Hulk is also pretty bad. Like, the faces that his model is making is horrifying.
I know.
Especially, like, the eyes that just stare off in the distance and seem to have no sense of what they're focusing on sometimes if you screenshot it. Yeah.
Yes. And I feel like his jawline is so weirdly, like, ovular or something. Like, it's very unnerving.
I will say he actually got a number, it looks like, for his jersey, though, because before he was 00.
Yeah.
That's true. He did get an actual jersey number. It's like a number. You know what I literally cannot get out of my brain, though, from the remastered one is the first time you talk to Hulk. Like, when I think about that character or that character model or anything like that, my brain just goes, whoa, a new girl at school. Like, it's just one of those strangely random lines that I can just hear in my head at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why I've been cursed with that line being one of those lines for me, but it's just really weird.
So, speaking of characters that have a dramatic change physically, but same character is Daryl and his terrifying face in the remastered version.
Which is worse, Daryl or Joe Hardy in Creed?
Aww.
I would have to say Joe. I'm sorry, his is just slightly scarier.
Yeah, Joe looks more like unnerving.
I think
unsettling.
They're real close, but I still think that one's still slightly worse.
Daryl though, he just he looks like he waxed off every bit of hair on his eyebrows.
Yes.
And so you're just left with the shadow of the eyebrows that once were.
It looks like he bleached them.
Or bleach. That's true. And he very much just looks like a dad to me.
He totally does.
Like a creepy dad. But like a dad instead of a high schooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this isn't about Daryl's face. It's more the way Her Interactive animated his clothing. But the way his shirt tucks into his pants is super, super strange to me. It looks like they used a photorealistic texture of a wrinkled shirt and they just plastered it on his model, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But I will say, at least the dessert display case has actual 3D objects in it and is not a flat picture that was pasted into the window.
That's so funny though.
Also, in the remastered one, I know that oh my god, what are they called? The cutters.
The bolt cutters?
Yes, the bolt cutters. It's an optional thing. You don't have to get them, but it was a requirement in the original Secrets Can Kill, no?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I wonder why the change. I guess just because they're more thoughtful about, we don't want our players to get stuck.
Maybe, but you could still control that happening, as long as you have to wait until they pick up the bolt cutters.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't trigger the note until after they do that. That's true. So yeah, I don't know. That is kind of weird.
But every hidden message was screaming bolt cutters at me from the original one. I feel like there's at least 3 or 4 of them that are just make sure you got the bolt cutters.
And then Ned even says it too.
Does it?
I'm pretty sure I remember in the original one he does.
Oh.
He does what? Sorry.
Ned also prompts you to get him too in the original.
Oh, I think so. I don't know. I think it depends on what level that you're playing at too, because someone I know made a post about how Ned was just telling them to take the box cutter and just saw the hole through the window.
Yes.
And my hints, because I was in Master, were a lot vaguer. They were just I don't know, Nancy, maybe look around or something. And I was thanks, Ned. This is how have we jumped so drastically from take those cutters and just saw through the glass.
Wow.
To wander about.
I love that. I never ever called Ned Besser George in the original one because I did it once and I was scarred for life. So I
my god.
Never did it again.
Voices.
Okay, I am 100% convinced that it is just Lonnie doing a high-pitched voice for Bess and a low-pitched voice for George, which is why she sounds so weird as Nancy, because I feel like she's trying so hard not to go in either direction. So that's why you get this weird monotone in the middle when she's playing.
Yeah, for sure.
But it makes me laugh so much. all I could think of when, like, anytime Nancy talked, because everything is just like questions over and over again. Like she repeats the last word after the characters.
Amazing.
So I just had the poison chocolates like loose in my
love
head
it
because the inflection is the same at like 90% of all of the dialogue options here.
Oh, I know, it's so good. It's so good. Poison chocolates?
Poison chocolates? I just want to go around and talk like Nancy if they're just like, man, my day was rough. Your day was rough? Man, I'm hungry. You're hungry?
Yes, exactly.
Trying to work on some stuff for work. For work?
For work?
Yes, thank you. I don't think she would repeat the 4. I think she'd just be like, work?
Work?
With a weird shake, yeah.
Yeah, that weird warble like she gets in her voice. Not like, what do you do? Just work?
Work?
That's what, like, every single conversation was. It was just like back and but my favorite was the first conversation she has with Hulk. It's just her like talking about the manatees, like, manatees, and then like dangerous or like school mascot, like just over and over.
The Hulk?
None of these things.
The Hulk? I forgot about that one.
I'm crying.
Oh god, it's so funny.
College ball?
Like none of these things merit explanation. Like
yeah, you can call me the Hulk. The Hulk?
Oh my god. Absolutely brilliant. I like that the remastered version still includes a lot of those dialogue options.
Yeah.
Because I asked Hulk about college ball.
College ball?
Yes, do you want me to explain to you what college ball is?
Does Nancy express fear about manatees in the remastered version? Because that was also a very hilarious conversation.
I think she can.
Yeah, that like went on for a couple of like dialogue prompts, which threw me because I was like, this seems. I guess they were trying to do some like good old Florida education involved in the game. Like this was their "we're gonna teach you something" moment.
But in the context, exist.
Yeah, of everything else, I was just like, why are we gone this direction, Nancy?
So funny.
So, Hal having the same freaking voice actor from the original,
wild.
like 12 years later. I cannot believe they got the same guy back. I can't.
I know.
It's absolutely
It's amazing
insane.
though. It's funny because I didn't even think about it. Like my brain didn't even like register that it was weird that so many years later it would be the same voice actor, but I immediately recognized it was the same guy. It just nothing registered as like that's unusual. And then you mentioned it in the little chat, and I was like, oh my god, that's so wild.
I literally, when I went up to him because I was like, I just wanted to hear what the different voice actors sounded like, because I hadn't played the remastered one. I don't think I played it since it first came out, and so I was watching like a YouTube, just the same clips from the original one, and I realized that there were other dialogue though that he was saying, and I was like, wait, oh my god, because it like almost like some of them, even down to the inflections that he's using, is like identical. It's just impressive.
Yeah, man, I think it's crazy.
I feel like it's so cool that they were able to find him easily and get him to agree again.
Yeah,
I know. Like, what are the odds?
And
I like too how Nancy just interrogates him about his overbearing family's expectations too.
I feel so bad for the guy. I mean, like,
I know.
Don't plagiarize, but like, dang, chill.
Yeah, I know. It's like he only resorted to all of this because he felt like he had to.
Mm-hmm. Also, I love that him plagiarizing is just having a book and then like writing his essay and using that book. I'm like, have you ever heard of citations?
Well, just my whole thing was like, wow, to live back in the 90s when Hayden.com didn't exist.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Also, on the topic of plagiarism, 2 things on this. One, that essay is so boring that no one is ever going to catch you, Hal, unless they're filming you, because you're not going to be able to read the same thing twice. Second of all, in the remastered version, it's attributed to Prudence Rutherford. He plagiarized Alan, whatever his name is, who wrote it in the 1990 version.
Wait, really? It was Prudence? I didn't even notice.
That's so funny.
Yeah, Prudence is on it on the remastered because I saw a post that someone like had, and they had a picture of it, and the essay says it's by Prudence Rutherford, which is not what it was originally. So we've had like Inception plagiarism happening here.
Wow.
It's been 3 levels.
I can't believe I didn't even notice that Prudence is the one who wrote that book.
I mean, I wouldn't have either, other than the fact that I saw someone specifically point it out.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I also miss in the remastered version is it makes me sad that we don't get to do the whole, like, cutting the window thing to get into the teacher's lounge.
Oh, did they realize that they probably shouldn't promote that kind of breaking an entry?
I guess, Maddie, but I would have preferred it.
Like, I can't get over the fact that they were like, yeah, you know what's a good option here? Just take a knife and go through the glass.
Just go ham, break an ender.
There's also a book in the library too that's the spine is like glass cutting 101.
Yes.
Sweet. But yeah, something about it just felt a lot more exciting than setting off a soda machine alarm that's apparently perfectly normal.
My God. That cracks me up.
To make Connie leave and use the key to just open the door.
Oh boy.
But seriously, everybody, I think there was a post that talked about this on Tumblr, how everybody just acts like, oh yeah, the soda machine alarm. Duh. Like, everybody knows what that is.
Clearly.
Yeah, not a thing.
Love it that was their solution. Again, sometimes I just wonder, what were you thinking, her?
They're like, yeah, this is a thing, right? This is a thing.
Also,
yeah,
no, it's not
the super generic, like, soda names.
Yes.
Tag yourself. My favorite is the one that's just called soda. I love it. But yeah, so remastered version gets Uncle Steve.
What a
Such
gem.
A horrible name.
Yeah, what a gem.
He's such a bumbling fool. That's what gets me.
I know.
Like, it's literally so obvious that something's not right here. Nancy goes and talks to him for the first time, and she's like, so what's going to be our cover? And he's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, our cover. And just, like, all of this super conspicuous questions. Did you find the journal yet?
Perfection.
What's the excuse that they give for why he hired Nancy?
Well, he's not actually a detective, and so he's not going under the guise of being a detective. Like, they're just telling everybody that he's Nancy's uncle.
No, I mean, like, because doesn't he ask Nancy to help him with the case?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Do you know why? Like, why even involve her?
That was a good question. I don't remember.
I'm trying to remember. I'm not sure.
You're good. I was like, because I watched like the first 5 minutes and that happened, and I was like, I wonder what was going on there, because I don't know if they explained it on, so I just wanted to ask. But
I just played this game yesterday for the record, and I have absolutely no idea.
It's okay, Uncle Steve.
Uncle Steve. Yes. I like the fact that you can play the entire game without talking to him once. I did talk to him once, but only once, and I did not exhaust my dialogue options.
I think I talked to him a lot, and I don't even know why.
No, I usually do talk to him when I play that game, though. I think I did the last time I played it. Just for the sake of playing to its full extent, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Secrets Can Kill is just a game that makes me really want to get into all of these kids' drama and like stir the pot, but I can't do it.
Yes. You know, it's funny because playing it
how dramatic everything is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, dear Lord, Jake, what were you doing?
Bro, I'm telling you, Jake is really just like Sunny June's evil twin, Rory.
Yes.
Or what is it?
Yuri.
Yuri.
Oh my god. I am obsessed with Jake Rogers. Okay? Especially in the remastered version, though. Because they did tweak his plan a little bit for the remastered version.
What was the tweak?
And, well, I don't know if they tweaked it that much, but they also gave him a voice. And I love whoever did his voice in that videotape at the end, because I just feel like it is perfect. It's like the perfect Jake Rogers voice. But
yes,
it's like all deep and gravelly and stuff, but it's like it's exactly anyway, that's really weird. I'm not trying to be weird. I just really thought it was appropriate. But so in the remastered one, I know for both of them, he was technically like on bulletin board duty or whatever. And so he was utilizing that position to leave his little messages and stuff, right? No. Or was that just the remastered?
I think that's just the remastered version, because you don't get any of that details about his life in the original one. Like in the original one, it's just there's these bizarre messages everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
So it's just either like, you know, I really like the idea that in his free time, he was breaking into also the bulletin board containers and then like setting them up just for the drama of it all. But I also liked whoever posted the idea that it was his ghost helping you out.
Yes.
I was like, that's such a cool headcanon.
I love that.
Honestly, I love all the secret messages around the school. I don't know why it just makes the atmosphere like peak. Like even in the books, like those weird cryptic messages in the library books and like in the book in Eloise's house, where it's like spells out Mitch. It doesn't make any sense in canon, but I love it.
It just adds something for the player, though. It's a fourth wall break, but it's an immersive one.
Yeah.
A wink and a nod. That's true. That's true. I love that.
I thought it was interesting also in this version comparing it to Stay Tuned for Danger, because in this one, a lot of those little hidden messages are actually very relevant to help you figure out the plot. Like, especially in the original version, there's not a lot of hints to like nudge you to what you need to grab unless you decode those messages. And if you keep track of them all, it'll tell you like the things that you're trying to find or like pick up on. And like things that you should click on to trigger the events that you need to do, which was very different. And it felt more immersive, I think, because of that. So like I didn't feel like I was wasting time. Not that it's a waste of time, but in Stay Tuned for Danger, it's much more of a like, if you wanna, you can figure them out. But otherwise, they're kind of just there.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it's like, I feel like that's part of what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a really good point. So before I delve into a monologue about Jake Rogers, Maddie, how much do you really find out about Jake in the first one? Like, is he much of a presence, or is it more just this was the victim that everybody hated?
I mean, all of you get kind of the same things. Like, he's a wannabe, like something. I forget what the exact line that Connie uses. It's the same in both versions. And it's like he's sticking his nose into things he shouldn't be involved in. Like bit off more than he can chew. The only other details that you get are that he was in like to video club, which is where he was using his for his blackmail schemes. And then And then my personal headcanon, which is there's a clip in one of the bulletin boards that talks about the overall drama production that the school is putting on, and it's a play about an overworked student who is forced to come in. Let me see, wait, I took a screenshot of it, but I love the idea that this implies, because it's like the official like ad, and there you see other ads for the play kind of around the school. So I'm like, this means that Jake is a part of the drama department and has written a performance called Dr. Deception that he has then hired the entire the school cast to put on a thing about it's student files under lock and key will show the lies of a doctor to be is the tagline.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that's the only two pieces, and I guess that could just be one of the things that like is thrown in. It's like a hidden message to help you out, but like I love the concept of like him actually building this play around just to like rub it in Hal's face.
That is incredible. Like how extra and dramatic can you be?
Honestly, the only person who could like be the predecessor for Dwayne Powers.
Yes.
I know, right? It's brilliant.
They're on a different level in those first two games.
I know, right? Everything was so extra, and I'm totally here for it. Well, in the remastered version, oh my god, like, listen, Jake was pretty much like an evil genius, all right?
Yes.
So he was clearly an asshole, right?
Yes.
But he knew that he was an asshole. He didn't like try to cover it up. Like he took full advantage of it. He was like guns blazing. I know I suck. I know I'm a jerk. All right. So I do not condone anything that he does, or did, I suppose. But the thing is, he is also like astronomically smart. He is incredibly clever and cunning. Like when you actually think about the secrets that he learned about these people, they're not all like obvious things, right? So he somehow figured out their locker combinations, or he broke into their lockers or something because he planted video cameras inside of their lockers. Which, first of all, hella shady, super creepy. But the length that he went to is insane. Like, who does this? But so
that was my thing. I was like, are you just stalking every student on campus and hoping to find some good juicy blackmail on a few of them?
Well, it starts out because he gets suspicious of certain people because he's observant. Right? So he notices little details, and that is his extreme twisted way of getting evidence that he's right. Also, he apparently hacked into the school's security cameras because he has an overhead view of Hal.
Yes, that's the same also in the original. And I thought that too. I was like, wow, you must also be in here hacking stuff.
So he hacked into the security system.
Although how did he get the footage of Connie taking like her mask off?
It was from inside her locker.
Oh, yeah, I'm mixing up two things. That's right.
Yeah, in the original version, it's like a video camera outside her car.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's right.
Which is a little more sus.
It is sus.
Yeah, I guess
he's just in the bushes.
Yeah, maybe he like knew that the jiu-jitsu match was coming up, and so if he followed her training schedule, he was like, okay, here's my moment.
True. Could have just been in his car chilling, slinking all the way down in his seat so that she can't see him. Oh my god. But so he figures out their locker combinations, sets up live feeds inside of their lockers to get the evidence so that he can blackmail them. Plus, he had to also figure out how to confront them about all of this stuff. I don't know, dude. Now that I'm like actually here, I'm losing all of my ability to like talk about it. But I have a post written up that I'm going to be publishing where I have all the time in the world to gather my thoughts and actually talk about it. But But it's like he's a bully and he's a horrible person, but I'm just so like fascinated by how methodical he was about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, it's really
how extreme he was about it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really interesting because all the students, at least in the original one, are always talking about how lazy he is and how his goal is just to kind of get other people to do his work for him. But when you sit and think about how much effort it took for him to, like you said, figure out who his targets are going to be, collect the evidence, threaten them, keep track. My thing is also, you got to be like keeping files on all of these people and your evidence is on you at all times. Like, that's a lengthy process, making sure that no one figures out that you're blackmailing them and, like, all of your blackmailed peeps are not getting together to, like, overthrow your blackmail. Micromanaging quite a bit here, and it's fairly impressive, even though, like you say, it is cool.
Right.
Dedication right there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. He's got one hobby.
Yeah. He just goes hard on that one hobby.
Very hard. Oh my god. I mean, Jake Rogers was a selfish, terrible, evil person. All right. I do not support him. But I am very, very in awe of how determined he was. And how he went about getting everything done, because he can get it done. He's smart enough that he knows where to apply pressure, how much to apply before pulling it back, and he knows how to manipulate people. And how to be observant and to go after what you want, and how to create a bunch of little clues. Oh, but that was my other point, was that why is he leaving these clues? Right? So in the remastered version, he's on bulletin duty and he uses that to spread out the clues and everything to eventually lead somebody to the box that he hid with a videotape that gives away his classmates. So then I started thinking about it more deeply and I was like, why does he want somebody to find that? When you look at all of the people that he was targeting, it's these people who, you know, have good reputations or in good standing and have a squeaky clean reputation, but they also have these secrets, right? And so I feel like in Jake's twisted mind, he felt like they were just as bad as he was.
Yeah, and I think that Jake kind of had a feeling that there might be a scenario where he doesn't make it. And so I think he was also leaving those little cookie crumbs to be like, listen, I'm no fool to like realizing that I got enemies.
Yep.
Yeah. That's how I viewed it too. I was like, it's almost a contingency plan in case something like this does happen, that those people are found out.
Exactly. Because everybody makes such a big point to make sure that you know that nobody liked him.
Yep.
Right? Nobody liked him. He did not waste his time with putting up like false pretenses or anything like that. And so I think that he can't stand it when other people do. I think that he is disgusted by hypocrites. And I think that's why he targeted these specific people. And that's why he went to so many lengths to scattering his clues to make sure that they still got found out at the end of the day.
I think that's a good point. I would have never thought about them being hypocritical, but you're right. I mean, they all kind of put on a front.
Right. And when you think about Jake and just how open he was about what a slime ball he was, you know, like I just feel like he would see that in his twisted, like messed up way. He would be like, well, you're not perfect either. You know, like I know I'm an asshole. I embrace that. But you are not squeaky clean either. So I'm going to make sure you get busted for it. You know? I feel like that was kind of his intention. And so while I don't agree with blackmailing people, I have to kind of respect his determination and his subtlety and his flair and how he went about all of this.
Oh yeah. I just like love the extent that he went with all of the stitches. Like he really all over the place.
And Allison, I completely agree. He definitely knew that he might end up getting killed for it. Yeah. Because I think he actually mentions in some of his stuff, like, if anything happens to me, he's smart. He knew he was playing with fire.
Yeah. Like, even in his video, he kind of, like, alludes. I mean, he, like, more alludes, like, oh, I'll be in, Bahamas. But, I think he realizes that he might not be in the Bahamas.
Yeah. I definitely think that was his goal. That was ultimately, like, okay, he was working towards, hopefully all this blackmail stuff would work out for him and he'd get to, go off and live on his private island. But he knew that there was a possibility that he would get discovered and wouldn't make it. It's just, that's so crazy. This 17-year-old kid went so balls to the wall. He was just like, I might die, but I'm okay with that. Like, really? Like, think about that. That's insane.
He's like, YOLO.
Yeah.
It's just fascinating to me. What a dark, overhanging presence. Oh,
honestly,
I love it.
Though.
I love Jake Rogers in, like, in the least obvious way.
No, I agree. I definitely see it. For how intense of like his plot is, and also just for like how intense the whole overall plot of this game is, I have to say that his end is really kind of lackluster and kind of funny in the context of everything. Like, especially in the first one, you have like a literal, like, kind of gun hold up. The way that he died was he just got pushed down some stairs. Once again, he still did die, but like amidst the drug running and steroid plot, and again the literal fight gun show at the end.
I'll hesitate, bitch. Honestly, though, I think that the original Secrets and Kill actually had the better ending of the two.
Yeah.
Because it is so wild. It's so extra. Her interactive went so hard for this game.
Honestly, the whole, like, Detective Beach, like, ending is, like, blah. It's so lame.
It feels like a cartoon.
Yeah.
I mean, my only real question about that whole ending is the fact, like, I have more questions about Aunt Eloise and the life that she's leading, that she has that prison installed in her house.
I know.
True.
What are you up to in your free time, Aunt Eloise? I have lots of questions.
Who do you expect to be breaking into your safe? Like,
what are you hiding in there?
I just love that her like security system isn't an alarm. It isn't, it's something a little bit more subtle. No, it's a straight up, probably like 400-pound cage.
We should all have those, though, man. That's like the best form of security. You're gonna make sure they don't get away.
It's amazing.
Oh.
I absolutely love it. But yeah, there were definitely some actual plot and narrative changes that they made for the remastered version that I do prefer over the original. Like, obviously, I love how they expanded Jake Rogers, obviously. Yeah. But also, there were a couple more things that I had in mind a couple seconds ago, but I'm tired right now, so my brain lost it. But there were other things.
I love the cheesy and fantastic soundtrack and how it's all location based.
Yes. Just beautiful. Like the old days.
Yes.
If you move from one room to another, the soundtrack changes. They did that and for a while.
Nothing is better than the soundtrack for the kitchen. Beautiful.
The soundtrack in the original one for the kitchen is so intense and dramatic.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the same.
Oh, is it the exact same? Yeah, for a room like nothing really intense is happening other than I guess the switch for the bolt colors. But
and the knife.
Like otherwise, yeah, you just switch in and you're like, I don't know why we've suddenly jumped to 1000.
Her interactive was like, there's a knife in this room. We have to get some music to reflect it. Perfect.
And what does the knife say? It's like it's cut into the thing. It's
like watch out.
Watch out. Yeah.
That's still one of my favorite most of all times. Like, wow, some major edgelord works at Maxine.
Yep. I know. I love that kitchen music. It's so unnecessary. It's great.
I feel like I just walked into a boss battle I didn't sign up for every time.
And then the library music is also pretty iconic.
Yes.
I also love how like brief and blunt everybody is in this game.
Yes.
Like you say 2 dialogue options and they're like, I gotta go now later, and then they just stay where they are. And I kinda hate that, not gonna lie. Or how's like, I must get back to the library. And he just sits there.
You're like, boy, you're not in the library though.
I don't know. That's something that even, because I know they kind of did this, they started getting better about it in the later games, but I know they still had it every once in a while where if a character gets all pissed at you, then you click on them again and they're just like, okay, what now? Like, I just feel like if they decide they don't want to talk to you anymore, you shouldn't be able to talk to them again until like 5 minutes pass or something. Which I know there are some scripted instances in the newer games where they do implement that, but it's always been like a constant thread, which I think is pretty common in games in general. But still, I'm a stickler for realism, okay?
Yep.
It's just so jarring, I feel like.
My favorite though is in Treasure in the Royal Tower when Dexter Egan is like, no, you can say that. No. All right, bye. Okay, kiddo, see ya.
I'm crying at your Dexter voice. Your Dexter was perfect. You could say that. It's so true.
You could say that.
Oh, man. Or how I know why they did this for like scripting reasons, especially back in the day. In the remaster, they probably kept it because they just wanted to keep the original like charm or whatever. But how inevitably, no matter what dialogue options you choose with the students at the school, they will eventually, inevitably, change the subject abruptly to Jake Rogers.
Yes. And I love that they're just so shitting all over him too.
I know.
So funny.
I know. Or it's like, okay, this kid literally just got murdered. All right.
Yeah,
and
murdered.
So a new student comes in.
Murdered.
You're meeting a new student for the first time, and they're like, oh yeah, so how's the school? And she's like, so, you know, who are all the kids here? And you're like, well, most people are pretty cool, except for Jake Rogers. Yeah, he just got murdered last week. And it's like, what are you trying to do?
Even if you don't like someone, bro, you can't. Not like that. He ain't even told yet.
It's even funnier. I think in the remastered, they say that the school has been closed for a while and it just reopened, but it literally happened like either night before or morning of when you're starting the original version.
Oh, really?
Like, true.
Yeah, like they literally just found the body like a few hours ago. The police are here investigating, and everyone is there like, God, I hated that guy.
I'm glad he got murked.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Like he had it coming.
He had it coming.
So bad.
Yeah, I want to do a freaking edit now. Just get that intro shot of Jake Rogers' chalk outline, and just like the song memes, like the one you did for Big Island Mike.
Oh yes.
Just he had it coming. But God, it's so funny. Like,
my favorite is too even just like how abruptly they're like, oh, they're all pretty cool except that wannabe stud Jake Rogers.
Yes, that's it.
Why are you even bringing it up right now? Like that's not any relevant.
Exactly.
Yeah, Nancy wasn't like, hey, what are your thoughts on Jake? They're just
like, she's like, how are the students? And they're like, let me tell you about the one student who no longer goes to this school because he was murdered.
Nancy's like, how's the weather? They're like, oh, the weather's fine. Unlike Jake, who's dead. I hate that guy.
Oh my God. It's so true. Like, that's kind of what I meant earlier, how you can just be talking to them about something totally unrelated and they will just throw him out there and start crapping all over him for no reason. It's like, he just died. Like, what's your problem?
This is where Nancy No Tack Drew learned it. She was like, listen, if every single student at this high school can talk this way, I got my my system down pat.
Dude, true.
Jake Rogers was a creep. Nobody liked him. You know what else I didn't even think about until literally just now is that we had both of the murder games back to back.
Both of what games back to back?
Oh, yeah.
Both of the murder games.
Oh, yeah.
So true. Yeah, those are the only 2 murder ones.
Crazy.
Both of them, there's no sympathy for the deceased. At least in the other one, you have the reverse problem, where Nancy is the one that's like, listen, hey, how's it going? So tell me about that dead guy.
Yeah.
Unrelated, but I also love the morbid jukebox tracks.
Right.
Oh my God, yes.
Right.
Like, who is setting them up? Like, I like to think that the students were able to put the names in, and so he was gone, and like, as a celebration, they all were like, let's just program it. Bye-bye, Jake. You know?
I like to think it was like Daryl just being a huge dick. He's like, oh, this would be hilarious. The menu in Maxine's Diner and the hilarious names.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Karen Plays Nancy Drew where she posted, she's like, tag yourself.
Yeah.
Man, I just found an old Jake Rogers post from like years back. That was by Tumblr user Junes.
Junes.
This is so much better than my post could ever be. I will still probably go ahead and post mine, but I'm
still do it.
Reblogging this now because it's so perfect. Except for a few punks like Jake Rogers. Was Jake Rogers a punk?
A punk?
Punk?
I don't know why, Allison, you kill me when you do that.
I know, you do such a good impression of it.
So the original Secrets Can Kill, where it's like at the very end with Mitch, and it's the post where it's like, I won't hesitate, bitch. There's another one from the Remastered with whatever his name is, Detective Beach from Queer Dagny, and it's same thing. I won't hesitate, bitch.
Nice.
So good.
I also wanted to shout out the Beast of Blackmore for her Tumblr posts attributed to each Secrets Can Kill Remastered character because they're literally flawless.
I mean, there's been some solid quality content coming from this game.
It's such a great one for me. Like,
it really is. This one to me is like an excellent like roast game.
It is.
Yeah.
This game is a meme.
It really is.
You know what it is about Hulk? It's that his chin is like the same width as his neck.
Yeah.
And there's a weird shadow underneath it. And I don't like it.
I don't like it. It's just my summary of how I feel about that character model.
Yeah.
And something with his eyebrows.
His headphones, I'm always confused. I'm like, why does he have a mic on him at all times?
Me too.
This post from Mrs. Henry Boulay says, I haven't even said one word to Daryl, and already he's disclosing his work as a prostitute.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
Male escort!
Male escort!
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh. Oh.
I feel like the last time I played Secrets Can Kill Remastered, I actually quite enjoyed it. But this time I was not vibing with it, so I think this one literally just depends on my mood.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of those games.
Yeah, I think you're right, because I think a lot of it, like, the enjoyment comes from going through and, like, kind of, like, laughing at the things in the bulletin boards and going through and enjoying all those things that, like, aren't really necessary. But if you're kind of in the mood to mess around and whatnot, it can be a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. But see, this week I felt kind of rushed because I hadn't played it because I hadn't been in the mood to play it. And so it was more just like, I have to get through this game. At least it's a short one. Just make it as quick as possible. You know, so I didn't really get to, like, enjoy it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, because usually even though I think this is probably one of the lesser, like definitely on the lowest end of the games.
Yeah.
Usually I still get some enjoyment out of it, especially with like the clues around the bulletin boards or in the library and stuff. Like I kind of get a kick out of it, and it feels nostalgic. But yeah, this playthrough I was just like, all right, let's go, and it was like, meh, not feeling it.
I love everyone book that says Mitch in it. Like, Fancy, be careful. What exactly is this line? The author of Aunt Ellen's botany book had some kind of secret intel.
Oh man, it's so funny.
Oh, like the level of the random details. Just another random topic, but just Daryl's level of like willingness to do whatever at the end of the game. I don't know if it's obviously not the same for the remaster because he's not there to go take down the major crime kingpin, but like literally you confront him about what he's doing and he's like, you know what, you're right, that was wrong. And then like you ask him like, are you sure I don't want you to you don't want me to just to go to the police? And he's like, you know what, sweetheart, I don't care what happens to me, I just want to help. And he's like literally just like, you know what, this may not end well, but like it's fine, here we go, let's go take him down. He like doesn't even hit, just throws one punch. Thank God Connie shows up because otherwise Daryl, oh boy.
Yeah. You know, I remember that though. I remember that from the original.
I had forgotten and it threw me off. And then I always laugh when you have to go around and ask every single other person to like, hey, listen, I know we just met and like our only interaction has been me like confronting you about your darkest secrets. But we found out who Jake's killer is, that guy you hate. We're gonna go confront him. You want to tag along?
Yeah, okay.
Like, especially poor Hal, who's already just like stressed, just needs to take a nap, probably.
I know, right?
This post from Nick Netterson, it's so good. Secrets can kill, more like, hi, I'm Nancy and I'm new here. So, anyone committed any murders lately?
Yes.
So good.
My Secrets Can Kill tag is actually pretty bare.
I just have the acronym SICK.
I mean, I do too, but like I don't have many posts in it though.
I forget to tag things with the acronym and then it's lost in time.
Oh, Nancy like really gets me when she calls back Mitch in the remastered version.
Yes.
It's like she literally sounds like some kind of old woman trying to say her piece or something and be a badass, but it's not working. Like she sounds like she's hardcore talking down. She gives me the vibe of like she's a 55-year-old woman like trying to talk down to like a 6-year-old. Did either of you guys have anything else you wanted to talk about with this game?
Detective Beach is weird. And I don't like him.
That's true. That's very true, or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, what is his real name again?
I don't think we find out.
Oh, true.
I finally remembered one of the other plot details that I liked that they changed all this time later. No, I just I enjoyed what they did with like tying in Daryl and his dad and their military secrets, and that's how they connected Mitch Dillon. But then they connected him through Detective Beach as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, one of the things I feel like is kind of harder with the like old one is it's not really explained with the culprit. It just kind of happens real fast at the end.
Yeah, exactly. It always
so
felt
jarring.
So random to me. And also, since it's been a while since I played the original, what exactly is Daryl's secret in the original one? Like, what did he do?
Oh, Daryl is smuggling drugs.
Okay, so
he was this drug runner.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
I completely forgot that. It's been forever since I played the original.
Is what I find hilarious because they really gloss over the crimes of like Daryl, like especially Daryl, like Hulk and Daryl. I'm kind of like, you all were committing kind of pretty big crimes. Connie really doesn't, like, hers is nothing really major, and then poor Hal is just beating himself up for the fact that he plagiarized this essay like over and over and over again, and honestly believes he's the worst person of like all time. And meanwhile, they're like, you know what? All is forgiven. It's good now. Like, no one needs to remember the fact that like I was committing multiple crimes.
Right. Like, you are completely correct. Hulk and Daryl did way, way, way worse than either of the other two. Connie, I feel like, hell yeah, go girl.
Yeah, Connie, Connie is the most amazing symbol of like female empowerment and pointing out sexist wrong.
Yes, Connie is amazing.
I know. The dirt on her is literally so weak. I'm like, come on.
Yeah. It's like, honestly, if you release that, she just seems more of a badass.
I know, right?
The dirt on Connie is literally just the plot of She's the Man. That's it.
Basically, though. And the funny thing is that is pretty much what happens afterwards, too, is that it gets out and everybody's like, oh, yeah, you know what? You're right. Cool. Good for her. We'll change our policies now. So, yeah, Connie is pretty epic, actually, especially in the original. I don't know. Or it's like, I feel like maybe that's what it is. In the remastered one, I just feel like there's a disconnect between how she acts when you talk to her versus who she is narratively.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't quite feel cohesive to me like it does in the original. And then, yeah, poor Hal.
Hal's just, I don't, he got roped into something. Like, it's just so weak in comparison.
I know, like, I feel more sympathy for him than anything else.
It's got a lot of pressure. Sierra's a foreign exchange student. Like, he's all on his own anyway.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
I know, he's struggling. He's going through it. Just doing his best. And okay, he cheated. Not cool. But he's also really, really badly overworked right now, and it makes me sad. Oh, and also, Connie, like, makes the comment about how, like, studying too much or studying so much he doesn't, do anything else. And then when Nancy goes and talks to Hal about that, she's literally like, Connie says that you study too much. Is that true? Like, what do you think he's gonna say? I don't understand what Nancy expected to accomplish with that.
I feel like Nancy didn't have a plot for most of her questioning in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nancy was like a blank slate in her head who just waited for somebody else to give her the prompt of what she was to say.
What she was supposed to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Supposed to say? Say?
Also, shout out to like Aunt Eloise in the original one, who like is chilling with her niece, like just on a vacation, right? She's like, oh, niece is in town, learns that there's murder at our school, and immediately, Nancy, do I have the perfect relaxing thing for you to do while you let's go talk to the principal.
Listen, Nance, I know you're on a nice vacation. It's all fun, but can you work for free? Would appreciate it.
Also, that the principal is just like, you know what? Why not? Sure.
Let's add another eye to it. No problem.
There's nothing sketchy about this.
Oh, and hey, shout out to Ellen or Nancy Drew, who, as of the time of this recording, literally just posted this that says, what kills me about the ending of Secrets Can Kill Remastered is that Beach still has a gun in that cage.
Yes.
All right, well, anyway, do you guys want to do some final thoughts?
I mean, I guess.
I don't know what else to talk about.
No, you're good. You're good. I just was like, I'm trying to even think of what I haven't said as like a final thought. Was more what I meant by that. I've hit that point too in my brain. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot we're still doing something.
I know. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. You're good. Like I said, I'm also there.
And sorry to our viewers as well, or our listeners, I suppose. We did not come through.
But neither did the remastered, so we're all good.
Right. I mean, I do not think that these games, Seekers Can Kill and Seekers Can Kill Remastered, I do not think that they are bad. I think that there are good elements to them. I think the original has better characters and a more intense vibe, which I really like. However, Secrets Can Kill Remastered, obviously, elephant in the room, looks better, and also gave a much, much, much better backstory to Jake Rogers. So thank you for that, for Interactive.
Truth.
So yeah, there's pros and cons to both versions. I'm not really sure if it's fair to say that you prefer one over the other. I guess it's fair if you have an opinion like that. I don't. I don't know. I really can't say, especially since I haven't played the original in so long.
Yeah, that's how I feel. It's been a long time since I've played the remastered that I feel like I don't really have room to speak about it.
Right.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of really cool things in both of them. I think it's just a really cool, like, game for when it came out, and kind of as the original, it's kind of cool to go look back on it and laugh about all of its like little quirks and things that they kept in both the remastered and the original too, which is a lot of fun. And
Definitely.
honestly, yeah, thank goodness that we have the remastered. Disc switching is not an option, because that is a nightmare.
I can't guarantee that I would play any version of Seekers Can Kill if I only had the option of disc switching.
I mean, I could have reinstalled it and done it in a way that it would happen, but again, the whole reason I was playing this version was so I didn't have to install it again. So I was like, we're just biting the bullet on this one. But I did really regret that choice when you do the sequence, which is like, you go to the diner, switch discs to walk through the hallway, switch discs to get into the boiler room, and then because your cursor is placed in such a way that if you don't move it away right away, you click, it pops you back out into the hallway, and so you have to disc switch 2 more times to get back in the boiler room. And like by that point I was like, okay, I'm over this.
No, God, I know this sounds frustrating. Sometimes I think about the fact that I sat through that too multiple times, and I'm just like, wow, I can't believe that.
I feel like it's like a hazing ritual almost that her put every one of us through.
Right.
It's a badge of honor.
It is. It totally is. I think this game could have been better if it had been longer and had more meat to it and more time to develop.
Yeah.
Because I like the vibe. It's got a cool theme to it. Aesthetic. But yeah, so next week is everybody's favorite, Ransom of the Seven Ships.
Listen, I have not played it in I don't know how long. Just listen, it's just got the most iconic villain of all time, and this is partly what makes him so iconic.
Yes,
absolutely.
But listen, I am actually weirdly excited to play this game, though. Like, I've always classified it as my least favorite, and it has been ages since the last time I played it. But that is actually why I'm looking forward to it, because I've been seeing the posts this week from people who've already started it, and it's just like, really, I'm already vibing with it because it's been so long, and I'm just like, I'm ready. I'm ready for the stupid puzzles and the nonsense plot and all of the hot garbage that this game has to offer me. I'm ready. I'm here for it.
Me too. Same, yeah.
I don't know why. I'm like actively looking forward to it.
And this
also, I'm so...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was to say, also, I'm just so prepped to give you all my full download list of what Dwayne Powers has been up to.
Yes!
Because despite the fact that I meant to post them as the weeks were I didn't and totally forgot about it, but I have it all.
Yes!
What has happened at least in my brain, and how we arrived at this point.
Oh my god, Maddie, you're such a legend.
I don't know why. It's just, I feel like how Rand got created, the ghost of Dwayne Powers haunts people and is demands content be created for him. That's how I feel like Rand was justified for her.
Right. Okay, but so before we end, I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about Ransom of the Seven Ships, just a little bit. But so there was a headcanon posted a while back where somebody was saying that their headcanon is that the whole Johnny Roll character is absolutely not Dwayne Powers in disguise. That this truly is just a lowly actor who looked like Dwayne, who Dwayne hired to go and pretend to be him to find,
oh my God,
to get Nancy to do this treasure and get this whole revenge plot on her. And so that's why the guy disappeared afterwards, because he was expendable. Dwayne had him killed probably, or, did something to his boat so that he drowned or whatever. But the real Dwayne Powers is still out there.
I like it.
I know, that is 100%. I accepted that headcanon as soon as I saw it, because the whole thing just made no sense. Too. Yeah, the whole thing did not make sense to me with it being Dwayne Powers. It didn't look like him. The voice was completely different. And I didn't like the fact that he just disappeared at the end. I was like, I don't know. That was my favorite headcanon, and I completely accept it now. However, Maddie, I am so interested and excited for all of your Dwayne shenanigans that have been going on.
So good.
Me too. I'm holding back because I feel like I could. I'm like, I'm so ready to just talk about Dwayne whenever. I just
yes,
so iconic.
It's gonna be good. Definitely gonna be good. All right. Anyway, sign off note. I love Jake Rogers in Secrets Can Kill Remastered. I think he's one of the most underappreciated villains in the entire series.
Honestly.
Anyway. So yeah. That's that for this week. We'll see you guys next week for Ransom of the Seven Ships. I'm trying to do an outro. I'm such a mess right now.
It's okay. You're good.
I'm definitely leaving this in. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you, Allison and Maddie, for trying to chat with me this week. I'm not sure how good of a job we did this time, but
listen, it's okay.
Hopefully we got some decent material somewhere. All right. Well, either way, thank you once again, and I will talk to you guys next week.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.